Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Now we're going to be looking at the structure part of the TOEFL test. So the structure part basically means grammar. You're going to be tested on your grammar knowledge, right? What you know, and if you know when something is incorrect. So it says here there are two parts, right? Error recognition and written expression. Now, you're also working with multiple choice questions. So this means that you have four options in all of the questions, right? Four options, A, B, C, or D. Choose the correct option, right? So let's look at how many of these we have. Now, if you saw my last video, you will remember that I mentioned that in listening, there are 50 questions. In structure or grammar, we have 40, right? In reading, we also have 50, like listening, but grammar is a little bit different because you have less time, right? If you want, I can do the TOEFL pre-diagnostic test. But in this case, I think you have about 25 minutes only, right? In listening, you have like 35, 40 minutes. And in reading, you have 50, 55 minutes. I think in reading, you have a long time, right? The TOEFL test is approximately 2 to 3 hours, right? Around 2 hours and a half, more or less. 2 hours and 30 minutes of exam. And it's just no break, right? You just do it así de corrido, right? As they say. Okay. Now, the first part is the structure, and these are questions 1 to 15. Now, in the structure, what you're going to be doing basically is there's going to be a blank, right? So you have a sentence, and there's one word missing, or sometimes a group of words, right? And they give you the four options, right? Now, remember, of the four options, two are incorrect, one is there to confuse you, and one is the correct one, right? So many times people will say, well, it's A, but it could also be B, right? And it's like, no, forget about it could possibly be or B. No, 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 no. That's to confuse you. It's wrong, right? You need to choose the one that you are 100% or 99% sure about. Now, you must choose the answer, right, that completes the sentence in a grammatically correct way, right? So it will tell you, for example, you, and then is it are, is it be, or is it was, right? And then you know it's you are, right, for example. Now, in written expression, this they try to test you in questions 16 to 40. Here we have most of the questions are going to be here. And what they try to do is they try to test you on your written expression. So they try to see if you know how to write in English, right? And you have 25 sentences, basically, right? And sometimes they are words or they are a group of words, right? And they are underlined. So we have them underlined, and you must choose the one, ojo aquí, you must choose the one that is not correct. So the one that is not correct is correct in this case, right? So they are presented in linear order, right? Which means, again, like if you saw in the last video of listening, it goes from easy to difficult, right? And also with the written expression questions from easy to difficult, right? Your score in this section is based on the answers to these 40 questions. All right, so if you want to pause the video, take some notes. Okay, these are some general strategies like we saw in listening. Now with grammar, again, be familiar with the directions, right? All of the directions in the TOEFL test are the same, like it says here. So it's not necessary for you to spend time reading the directions, right? Just be familiar and use the time to answer the questions, because time is very important in the TOEFL test, right? It gives the exam credibility, right? If it has time, you know, so you need to do it in a specific amount of time. Begin with questions 1 through 15, right? Anticipate that those will be the easiest, right? And in this case, 11 to 15 will be the most difficult. So you need to know this. Do not spend too much time on the difficult ones, right? It's going to demotivate you, demoralize you. Just, if they're difficult, and continue, right, with that motivation. So the easier questions will come later. Continue through 16 to 40, right? And in this case, well, you know that 16 to 20 will be the easiest, and anticipate that questions 36 to 40 will be the most difficult, right? So do not spend too much time on the difficult ones. If you have time, go back. But yeah, don't worry too much about it. So it says here, if you have time, return to questions 11 to 15, right? You should spend extra time that you have on these type of difficult questions, right? And guess, right? Very important that you don't leave any blank answers, right? So it increases your score, right? Remember, 25% probability if you guess, okay? So if you want to take notes on this, okay, so let's look at a quick example of a structure question. This is multiple choice questions that test your knowledge on the correct structure of English sentences appear on the paper test, right? So for example, here, number 1 says, a camel of 30 gallons of water in 10 minutes. Our options are can drink, it can drink, a large drink of, or with a drink of. Which do you think is the correct answer here? Well, we have to look at the sentence first and say, does it have a verb? Very important to always detect the verbs. A camel, 30 gallons of water in 10 minutes. Verb? No verb. So what is necessary? We need a verb. Yeah, there's a camel and there's 30 gallons of water. But what does the camel do with that? Does it spill 30 gallons of water? Does it drink? Does it sell? Right? So our option here is can drink, and this is the correct one, right? A camel can drink 30 gallons of water in 10 minutes. This one's incorrect because it already has a subject, and we have a subject, a camel. A large drink of doesn't have a verb, and with a drink of doesn't have a verb, right? In this case, drink is not a verb, it's a noun, right? Like the drink. I like my drink, right? And let's read very quickly what it says down here. In this example, you should notice that the sentence has a subject, camel, but needs a verb. Answer A is the correct answer because it contains the verb can drink, right? Answer B is incorrect because it has an extra subject, it, and answer C and D are incorrect because they do not have verbs, okay? So finally, let's look at the procedure for the structured questions. First, study the sentence, right? So this is very important. Read the complete sentence. Many times people will read like half of the sentence because they are pressured by time or whatever, or they're anxious or they're stressed or they're nervous, and they'll get it incorrect. Study the sentence carefully, read it all completely, understand it. In the TOEFL test, they are typically very long sentences, okay? So your purpose is to determine what is needed to complete the sentence correctly, right? Then study each answer based on how well it completes the sentence, right? Eliminate answers that are definitely wrong, right? And number 3, do not try to eliminate incorrect answers by looking at the answers. You need to put the answers in the sentence, right? The incorrect answers are generally correct by themselves. The incorrect answers are generally incorrect only when used to complete the sentence. So check them with the sentence, right? Okay, so next we're going to move on to skill number 1. Skill number 1 is very basic. Be sure the sentence has a subject and a verb. So this is where I'm going to stop the video. Thank you for staying till the end. Remember that the book will be in the description for you to download it, check it out. The PDF page is right here, 218. This is where we're going to continue next class. And let me know if you want me to upload the pre-diagnostic exam completely so you can take it, okay? So I will see you next video. Have a good day. Bye.